Saying that Nalanda does not believe in being lazy, rather being very lazy. Does this mean that they would never sell a business? Or when do they know that this is the good time to sell?
Yeah, see, when you're managing public money, you have to sell. So the factors which are used, which they've used where they sell, is that within the original thought process it changes. Now, when you've invested in a good company, you don't know what the bull market could do, which is that the P multiple of 20 could become 50 or 50 could become 150 or 150 could become 300. So they are not in the business of judging where the stock is going to go, but they are in the business of perhaps monitoring that the thought process which they had applied when they had invested in that company, has that thought process changed. And I'll look at two classic examples here. Classic example number one, Tharocare, which was part of Nalanda's core portfolio. Tharocare promoter Mr. Velumani, they decided to sell their business to PharmEasy. And the very next moment when this deal went through, Nalanda decided to exit their holding in Tharocare. It had the lowest cost advantage and it was a very efficient diagnostic stock which knew how to manage scale, and it was throwing up a lot of cash, and that business was growing at a growth rate which in a sense was enviable. Now post the merger with PharmEasy, of course that whole management and the business thesis of Tharocare got changed. So once your thesis and the reason why you bought, if that changes, well, that's the time they've exited the stock completely and totally and pura bechte. They don't then say I will sell 50%, I will buy at lower level. No, if my thesis is broken, Buffett says I'm going to exit. For example, Buffett invested in airline stocks, his thesis was broken, he decided to exit airline stocks completely. Another example is TCNS Clothing, fantastic business, but the business was acquired by Aditya Birla Fashion Retail. The shareholders of TCNS Clothing, they were getting a share swap. In that share swap, they were getting shares of Aditya Birla Fashion Retail, which is a completely different kettle of fish, different ownership, different brands, debt on the balance sheet. So that's the time Nalanda decided to exit it. Now these two decisions on whether the management will own or sell is a function of individual managers. But for Pulak and his fund, when the decision to buy was based on a filter criteria, if that filter changed, that automatically meant that he no longer would remain invested in that company or in that business.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.